Thanks, Derek. The United States has struck a deal with Iran to bring home 5 imprisoned Americans, but the agreement is not without controversy. Fox's Alexandria Huff joins us live from Washington, D.C. with more on these negotiations. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Dina. The 5 Americans are now under house arrest in Iran's capital. This marks the first step in initiating their eventual return to the United States. But it's what Iran is getting in this deal that some have taken issue with.
This is the beginning of the end of their nightmare and the nightmare that their families have experienced.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken optimistic following what's been 2 years of quiet negotiations to bring home 5 Americans imprisoned in Iran. U.S. officials say the 3 named prisoners and 1 other were transferred from Iran's notorious Evin prison yesterday and are now under house arrest at a hotel in Tehran. The 5th prisoner, an American woman, was previously released to house arrest, according to the New York Times.
This is a positive step, but I don't want to get ahead of its conclusion because there's more work to be done to actually bring them home.
In exchange, the U.S. agreed to release several jailed Iranians and free up a reported $6 billion in frozen Iranian assets, which officials insist will only be able to be used for humanitarian purposes.
There's not going to be a ransom payment. There's not going to be sanctions relief. There's no U.S. taxpayer dollars that are going to be applied to getting these Americans home.
But critics argue Iran could use the money to fund their military and proxy groups in the region or their controversial nuclear program.
This money we're going to give them, $6 billion, is a lot of money for Iran. This will balance their budget, Brett. They're feeling flush tonight. And the fact that we're getting these Americans home is fantastic, but the risk to every other American is substantial.
And the method to transferring these funds is complicated. If the agreement goes through, the money will first be sent to Qatar. And because of this, Fox News sources say that it will likely take several weeks before the Americans can come home. Dina.
Boy, Alexandria, this is so many conflicting emotions, and then you bring the conflicting politics into it, too. But certainly everybody wants to see Americans come home again. But at what cost, I guess, is always the question.
Yeah, that is always the question. And I think there are questions about how you ensure that Iran uses this money towards the humanitarian purposes. The way it is set up, according to the Biden administration, is that there is an account that they will have to pull it from, so they will have to be accountable to what they use it for.
Fox 2 Detroit is now streaming free on Fox Local. Download now on your preferred streaming device for live newscasts and more.